It's like they always say, ain't no business like hoe business. Manhattan DA will stop prosecuting prostitutes and asks court to dismiss nearly 6,000 cases dating back as far as the 1970s. I've actually got no issue with this by and large, especially expunging the records of individuals dating back that far. I know I should be more prude, right? I know I should be more prude given the boring upbringing I had led as a kid, having two married parents who actually loved each other in the same household, and the boring life I lead. I should be a prude, I should be against this stuff, but hoes gotta eat too, is what they say. Manhattan District Attorney Cy Vance Jr. said prostitution will no longer be prosecuted in Manhattan. We'll just cover the main points on this. Got a couple other things I want to show you. In the same virtual appearance in Manhattan Criminal Court, the DA dismissed nearly 6,000 prostitution-related cases that date back to 1976. Advocates of decriminalizing sex work say a majority of the prosecuted prostitutes are already victims of human trafficking. That is one thing I do question, though, is if a majority of these prosecuted hoes are victims of human trafficking, wouldn't this be kind of way out for them? You've got to imagine they're still doing arrests. Maybe not even arrests anymore. Why would they arrest anyone anymore if they're not going to be prosecuted? But if some of these ladies are involved in sex trafficking, wouldn't the only way to know that be to actually arrest them and then go through the process? If they're not getting arrested, how is anybody going to know that these people are out there, right? It seems, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I like what they're doing with expunging records, but it seems contradictory in a way. What do you think about that? Am I thinking about that wrong? It seems like this would open up the market for more sex trafficking if they now know that they're stable, can't be prosecuted in any way. Many of the prosecuted sex workers were non-white, according to a ProPublica analysis, and watch when I show you the data. New York state lawmakers are discussing a similar bill at the state level that advocates say needs to get passed. First thing to keep in mind, though, the DA's office will continue to prosecute other crimes related to prostitution, including patronizing sex workers and sex trafficking. So they're still going to punish the trafficking aspect of it, but not the actual act itself. Again, how are you going to know that these individuals are victims of sex trafficking if you don't get them in custody first? And patronizing sex workers being the Johns. So Johns are now going to get prosecuted, but the hoes aren't. Interesting how they decided to flip things. Not saying they weren't going after the Johns before, but they were like, let's not arrest women, let's arrest the men. Because you would imagine they're talking about females prostituting their bodies and men patronizing, by and large. Interesting how that works. Men's rights advocates, like we were just talking about, right, Strong? Interesting how it just popped up. Here's the data I was talking about from ProPublica. The publication's data analysis of the last 4 years showed 89% of the 1,800 charged with prostitution and 93% of the 3,000 accused of trying to buy sex were non-white. Is this another matter of analyzing the data, seeing who commits the crimes, and then trying to knock crimes off the book just because of who the offenders are? Nah, there's none of that going around, right? We don't see any decriminalization of crimes because of the statistics of the offenders. They would never do such a thing. I'm being cynical, of course. Is it legit? Who knows? I've given my take. I really don't care either way. They shouldn't be prosecuting these hoes. They shouldn't be prosecuting the Johns. Sex trafficking, that's a huge problem. Those people should face the harshest of the harsh penalties, in my opinion. One more little bit of information here for you. Manhattan joins the NYC boroughs of Brooklyn and Queens, whose district attorneys made their policy changes in January and March, respectively, as well as the cities of Philadelphia and Baltimore to decriminalize prostitution. Interesting how those are heavily blue areas. Sex work is work. I'll pass on hiring her for any kind of job. Couple comments I liked real quick. This one here, Peavine in Reno, Nevada. Reno, interesting place. They got a lot of stuff going on there. Not as much as Vegas, but moms, your daughter's newest career path has been legalized. It's legal, Mom. And then somebody says, here you go. Well, there you go. Now Cardi B will get her records cleared after working at ripping off Johns for all those years. And finally, someone says, great news for sex traffickers. So jumping from prostitution to essentially, OnlyFans model, 40, way past the wall, who was left with mangled breasts and holes in her skin after a botched boob job reveals she's had to spend $100,000 on 7 surgeries to get her dream cleavage. $100,000. That's quite a bit of money. I wonder where she got all that money. This is just an excuse for me to look at some photos, guys. Sorry, ladies. Just skip past this one. Try to make it like a minute or two. Skip past this. There's obviously something without whatever. Cool tats, bro. Yee. Sad face indeed. Now, let's check out that dream cleavage again. Like I said, see it and then we'll move on because yes. All right, anyway, it's pretty funny, huh? $100,000. The best boobs money can buy. I bet she's making so much money per month, and the Daily Mail's running a little PR for her. So from this plastic figurine to an actual real woman, topic unrelated, it's kind of funny though, just trying to keep it light here today, and woman slams disrespectful barman for describing her as girl by herself on her receipt. But others say it's just a simple way to help staff identify customers and tell her to move on. So it's interesting. I hadn't read through the article, go through a little tiny bit of it. There's some funny tweets down below. That's why I wanted to talk about this. But I like how the internet actually stepped up for once, it seems like. And we're like, hey, just chill. And before I get into this, I'm just going to say that this woman, she's, in my opinion, she's beautiful. Don't tell the missus. Maybe she's a jerk for trying to do this kind of stuff, but I saw her as beautiful. If she was at the bar alone, I might say hi. I'm not going to send her a drink or anything. I'm not simping like that, but if I saw this woman, here she is. I think she's beautiful. That's just my opinion. This woman here, though, she's from the UK. If you're in town, call me, girl. Jesus. Okay, maybe I am consent mode. All right, let me calm down. Here you see the receipt here. Washington, D.C. bar, girl by herself. Just 5 days ago. But check this out. What always gets me about some of these things is the prices that people will pay. That margarita, $10. Something else, $10. Maybe this is food here. $16 item and a $28 item, $64. The missus and I rarely see a bill like that. We're talking about when we're dining locally. We're not talking about obviously dining at a fine dining place, but rarely will we see a bill with $64 on it. If I ever see a bill at large that says $64 on it, I'm pushing that check over to her. I'm like, baby, you got this one. I got the last. I hit up Taco Bell last time, baby, so you got this one. Here she is. The cake lady got me a angel. And look how she did the Mia here. M-I-A. So I was wondering if her name was Mia. This description is so disrespectful. Somebody responds to that, really? If you are without company, you are just that. And if you are dressed in a red dress, you are dressed in that color. How else would you rather be described? Others shared their own experiences in a bid to make the woman feel better, with one writing, I feel you on this one, before sharing a copy of a receipt, which branded him Raspy Voice Guy. Now that seems a little more disrespectful than the other thing, in my opinion. Maybe she's single. Maybe she's got some issues. She is from the UK, so she came over here. You don't necessarily expect her to have a man here. She was single, and most people in a bar most likely aren't, unless they're men trying to creep up on single ladies, right? Another caption to post. That's better than the one I got, before sharing his receipt, which read, "Little ugly dude." So what would you rather be known as? A raspy voice guy? A little ugly dude? Or the girl by herself? That being said, she'll be alright. She still has her looks to fall back on, according to me. Maybe you feel different, but one more time. It's very attractive, right? So here you go. Raspy voice guy, walk in to go. But look it, someone named Colocho called you raspy voice guy. If you see somebody's name is Colocho and he's making fun of you, I would take it as, I would laugh. And then I would just be like, well, fuck him. His name's Colocho. So here you go. Little ugly dude, thank you. Come again soon. Total items 1. Little ugly dude. Someone says here, as a former server bartender, I try to avoid descriptions like this. But depending on how well coworkers could communicate, knew their table numbers, it did happen on occasion. That was a nice thing about getting cards to open tabs. Have an actual name to use in the comp and IRL. He probably forgot the customer was going to see the note. I've done that one a few times too. Should put a smiley face next to that one. It's only disrespectful if you let it be. Life is short, move on. Agreed. Attractive young lady. She doesn't have anything to worry about in life. We'll just say that. But snowflakes are white, I'm confused. Undateable, sexually frustrated drama queen. The article is so disrespectful. It mentioned several times that she was alone. How dare anyone state simple facts. Nice. That's funny. Save us from generation offended. Is she a girl? Was she by herself? Okay, yeah, you get where that's going. Very definition of snowflake. There's probably a good reason she's by herself. Probably because she's offended by something as innocent as this. She must be a real joy to be around. And the joke would be, well, nobody would know. That's why she's single, right? All right, everyone, that's it. Like I said, just trying to keep it light today. Good news for the hoes. Good news for our plastic friend. And for our friend here, Mia, hopefully this little smackdown kind of sets her straight and lets her know that things like this really aren't worth getting offended about in life, that there's far more pressing issues going on, and things like this are just minor inconveniences. You got to turn it on its head, laugh at it a little bit. Come on, girl, you're too cute to be that angry. Let it go. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care and be well.